What's up guys, so we just got introduced to a new mechanic yesterday in the spoilers. I'll have a link to the article below so you guys can see all of the cards, but I'm just going to be focusing on the shift mechanic itself because it is new and because I think most of the other cards were horrible and not worth talking about. I don't mean to be so brief and kind of rude about it, but I just feel like, well, light always gets kind of like the crap end of the stick, which is kind of a bummer because I was looking forward to running any of the new rulers. Now that we've seen that, once again, just refer to the article for all the other cards, but now that we've seen that the ruler side is going to be the same for all 5 rulers, I understand that it's possible that we're getting 2 more rulers since the set is a 107 card set, so it's possible that we have 7 rulers, but you can see that on the ruler side of the new ruler, the Memoria of the 7 lands, that it is going to be the face side of all 5 of the rulers in the set. And although I really like the J ruler sides, I think Faria is really interesting and can possibly be played with fairies actually due to Light Sprite being able to heal. I still don't just feel like it's not really worth, you can give the article a brief read, but it doesn't really give us anything. It's not as exciting as I was hoping for the first article. I think they could have started off a bit stronger, though starting off with the shift mechanic in general was really cool. Me and my friends were always joking around about essentially having shifts, because I know Magic kind of has double-sided cards too, but we were joking around about having it with Regalias and having it be 0 cost and then more 0 cost, because we were kind of teasing how Regalias are typically 0 cost and trying to break the game more than Reflect. And it's kind of funny how that didn't happen, which I'm glad. None of these seem broken, but it's definitely cool to see that we were kind of right about double-sided cards. And I think that's cool. I actually really like the shift mechanic. I think it looks really fun. I think it's going to kind of add a really interesting aspect to the game. I am dying to see what shifted super rare full arts are going to look like, because it's both of the cards sides are just going to look absolutely beautiful, and I think that's really cool. And in terms of Charlotte and Lars, for anyone that doesn't understand the shift mechanic, I guess I could break it down to make it a little easier. From what I understand anyway, is the card has to be essentially on the Lars side when you put it into your deck, and it can flip into the Charlotte side, but the Charlotte side cannot flip back. If you choose to cast Charlotte's side from your hand, you typically just, as you play Lars, instead of playing Lars's cost, you can pay Charlotte's cost, so the 1 blue and 2 colorless instead, and so it would automatically come into the field as Charlotte, but then you would only gain this card enters your field with 5 +1/+1 counters, opposed to the shifted effect where Charlotte gains 10 +1/+1 counters. And you can read in the article that shifting does not count as entering the field, so if you do shift into Charlotte, she doesn't gain 15 counters total, she only has that 10. So generally I think the idea is pretty cool, as for the fact that you can cast it from your hand on either side depending on which color cost you pay. But I really had wished that this had been kind of instant action opposed to a spell chant. So you use this at any speed you would play a regular card essentially, so you can't chase with flipping. I think it'd be really cool if somebody, let's say after rotation someone's using a card like Burn to Cinders, and someone tries to Burn to Cinders your Lars, and if you were to be able to flip into Charlotte and then gain 10 + 10 counters, and then Burn to Cinders now leaves you at 300 instead of killing Lars, I thought that would be pretty cool. I mean, I'm cool with it not missing anymore, because I think that would be ridiculous, but generally I think being able to switch at instant speed would have been really cool. But I'm sure that there's a reason why they did it this way. They probably wanted to start it off easy, just in case they don't want to make it too good. In general, I really like Charlotte's side for the aspect that if you do somehow get to switch over, I'm really in my anticipation, I'm guessing there's going to be some kind of ruler. It's possible that it might be Oberyn or Titiana, who they said they want to reprint, so maybe one of those 2 rulers, or it could be just a completely different ruler anyway. But it might be possible that we're going to see a ruler that says you don't have to pay the colorless cost to shift, which would be insane, because then it's you play Lars for 1 red, 1 colorless, and then with 1 more blue you switch to Charlotte, which I don't think would be too strong. I mean, a 3-drop 10/10 does kind of seem good, but it gives your opponent 2 chances to kill the card, because you can respond to Lars and you've already paid the cost. It's kind of like evolution. Evolution wasn't broken, even though it made the card better. It's kind of just like, you know, it's fair. And I think that even if you only had to pay like 1 blue to flip into Charlotte, that would kind of be totally fine if you had to hard cast Lars for 1 red, 1 colorless anyway. Like a 3 cost to do all of that, with your opponent gaining all those chances to like deal with your card. And then not to mention, like, even if you get a 10-10, if Lars has Summoning Sickness, Charlotte's gonna have Summoning Sickness, so that doesn't matter. And then, like, if you use Charlotte's effect to draw 2 cards, she's now like a 2-2. So, like, if you had to pay 3 to draw 2 cards and have a 2-2, that's, like, barely better than, like, Mujar or, like, 4C or something anyway. So I don't think it'd be that broken to have a ruler that said you don't have to pay the colorless cost. I actually really hope we see something like that, because cost-wise, I think it's way too high to have to essentially pay 5 to play Lars and then shift it into Charlotte. I don't think the return is good enough, especially because if you go into Charlotte and draw 2 cards and then like sack it for Adam Broly, I think that's a really strong play, because then you get to draw 3 cards, and then not to mention what you sacked other than Charlotte. But generally, I still think that the cost is a little too high, but it is a really cool mechanic. Other than just the cards itself and the new mechanic, just art-wise, I think both of these cards are actually really beautiful. I think they're really well drawn. Lars's pinky looks a little weird. I don't know if anyone mentioned it. I feel like I'm the only one that notices like hands. Like every time I like see something, like when Angel of Wisdom was released, I was like, why is nobody talking about his hand? And like it was just weird. And then everyone started bringing it up at one point. And then Cyrus, like even though he's like one of my favorite rulers, he has like this like gross arm that's just like it's like long looking and like skinny and weird, and I don't know, like limbs just stick out to me for whatever reason. I really don't know why. But yeah, I mean, other than like the art on his little tiny pinky that looks like sharp and weird, I think the art is really nice on these cards. I can't wait to see what the floors are going to look like. The font, everyone's talking about the font. It really doesn't look that bad to me. I mean, it doesn't particularly look great, but I don't really like care for it in a good or bad way. It just like looks like font, I guess, you know. I feel like it doesn't really matter as long as the effect is readable. I think it's a nice touch to the name. I mean, all the O's have like the Force the Will logo instead, which is I think pretty cool. And I can imagine, like, you know how I think the best example is Moonbreeze Memoria, but Moonbreeze Memoria kind of has like a glow to the color of the name too. I think it's hollowed out a different way. I can only imagine how nice these cards are going to look to be dual-sided full art and have the names just like look really like shiny and nice. I think that's going to be particularly really cool too. But yeah, I typically want to hear what you guys have to say about all of the spoilers, so don't only talk about the Swift cards, make sure you comment on the other cards as well. I was going to go over it, but it's just really underwhelming. I feel like the Facebook group has already like covered everything on those cards and how they're just really underwhelming, and I didn't want to waste everyone's time talking about like all the negative when I could just focus on how cool Shift looks so far. The only other complaint I do have though is I really wish Lars was a Knight of the Round Table. I know it wouldn't really make like sense lore wise, but like he's also essentially like the Prince of Gloria or whatever. So it's like, why isn't he a prince over a knight if he's just gonna be a knight? Knight of the Round Table would have at least made him searchable by Percival, which would have been nice, but it's not too big of a deal. But yeah, definitely let me know what you guys think about these cards, about any of the cards spoiled. Let me know what you guys think about the shift mechanic in general, if you guys think it's like really cool for the game, or if you don't like it because maybe you have to, you know, worry about what kind of sleeves you use now, because some of those, like the Ultra Pro sleeves for example, which I don't think anyone should ever be using Ultra Pro sleeves because those sleeves suck. Like, just get hypermats if you ever have access to them. Hypermats are really good, but they're like known as KMC. If nobody knows what it is, it's KMC hypermats. So those mats are always the best. But if you're worried, like if you use Ultra Pro, I think like yellow, I feel like you're gonna be able to see that it's a shift card because the yellows are kind of see-through-ish and you can kind of see through them. So other than maybe that being a problem, I mean, I don't think it's too bad that we have dual-sided cards. I mean, we do it with our rulers anyway, and I know it's a huge difference because rulers are in play and resonators don't, but just, you know, if you get proper sleeves, it's fine. They're required for tournament play anyway, and so unless you play casual and you don't use sleeves, which I think you should still, because like damaged Force of Will cards like give me anxiety. Like the back of the card is so nice that I feel like it's like an absolute waste to let that card get damaged. I think it just looks too beautiful. But yeah, I mean, other than the fact that maybe you have to like be careful about what sleeves you buy now, I think the shift mechanic is really cool. I also like I mean, well, I don't know this yet. Actually, yeah, I guess you can assume based on the card number, but like if you look at the number, it's 77 for both of them, so it's of course one card. But for a second, I was gonna say, I wonder if this means we're only gonna get like 5 super rares of like in total, and they'll all be shift cards, and then like we won't get 10 different ones, but it should be 10 different ones because they're still the same number. So I guess we're like essentially we get more super rares now, unless not all shifts are going to be super rares. I'm not sure, but it's kind of cool because like you get like an additional card in a way, because it's like you know, you get varied effects, but it's still the same number in the set, so you get more cards, if that makes sense. It'd be really cool to if we do get Oberyn, I want Oberyn to be like the shift ruler, because like the art on that card is absolutely beautiful. Like that man is gorgeous. Like I just like want to look at him. Like, he just like looks great, and so I can only imagine like how cool it'd be to have him as the ruler, because all of the other rulers so far, like the fact that it's gonna have the Memoria of the Seven Lands as the ruler, I'm just so disappointed with that, because that card is hideous. Like I really wish it didn't look so gross. Like the face on that crystal or whatever just makes me feel awful. Like I look at it and I don't like it. It's not good to look at. I really like, I like the ruler sides though, like the Faria art that you can see in the trailer that we just saw yesterday, and like the Rezzard and stuff, I think are gonna look great. Machina looks so good. I really hope Machina is like the best one of all of them, because him and Rezzard, because like Death Scythe, if he's still gonna have Rezzard's name, Death Scythe's still gonna steal stuff, and I have this sick obsession with taking all of my opponent's monsters. It just feels really cool. And I want to see the Water Fairy too. I think Fire is gonna get spoiled next, because in the trailer it was like Faria then Melgus, which is really a bummer, because like I don't care about fire cards, I just want fairies. But then again, maybe something will help Alisire. We'll see. Anyway, I didn't mean to like break off into that weird kind of randomness. I do it all the time. I don't know why I do that. I'm kind of doing it right now. Okay, stop. Okay. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Definitely talk about all the cards, not just Shift, but focus on Shift because I think it was the most interesting aspect. If you guys do have any questions about Shift and it wasn't clear about how you use them, make sure to leave a comment asking about that as well. And if you guys haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do, because I have all the spoiler kind of coverage coming up as we see them. And I'm still going to finish up the rotation videos on, I think it's Millennia of Ages and Mingolf left. Those will come probably Thursday, and then Friday will probably be another spoiler video, so we'll see about that. I've just been a little busy, so if my schedule seems kind of not so consistent, I really appreciate that everyone's like really supportive and willing to understand, because I work insane hours. I work like 45 hours a week, so I don't always have all the time to film, but Force Soul is always my priority because I love it so much. So thanks for being kind of understanding about that too. So I don't want it to seem like I don't appreciate that, because I really, really do. I mean, people are always so supportive, and it means a lot to me. So yeah, let me know what you think, subscribe, and I'll definitely catch you guys next time.